the last few years, there's a lot of countries that have really developed great data systems particularly for monitoring progress from open defecation, and I think we've got a real opportunity now to be progressing that.
No matter how much data you can create, no matter how much information you can create, unless the decision makers take those, these are going to be useless. So the challenge I think globally is like how the policy makers are using those data. There are like lot of data systems working solo, and that is like creating more financial burden.
There are gaps, that there's the whole sanitation service chain that we need to understand now, and so that's a bit more complex than what we had been looking at. And so there's this demand of having a range of data, and then the challenge of combining that data. So there's administrative data that might not be talking to and harmonised with the data coming from households, and how do we bring those together coming from different departments or statistics office.
We have data which are collected by the national statistics. We have data which are collected by local authorities. We have data which are collected by other reporting agencies, and we need that harmonization to have the same data, accurate and adequate data that are not scattered here and there.
We realized that many of the questions were not really appropriate, so we need to refine them further and ensure they speak to the JMP language.
Create kind of an open access environment for the advocates. So how do you give the data to civil service organizations and the advocates so that would create a kind of a virtuous cycle, and it impacts the policy, it influences the policy makers and decision makers. It enables them to use the data, it forces them to use the data.
Harmonising, so making sure that everybody's on the same page so that we make the efficiencies of data systems. Then there's the coordination aspect, so that having all the data in one place so that it can be used by the range of actors that really need data, because we've seen that data is needed for finance, for regulation, for governance.
We shouldn't gather data just for having numbers. We have to translate the data into actions. How the data we have, are we building on them to actually organize, to plan and manage the service provision?
When you have a data system that is inherent to your service delivery system, as we hear emerging in some of these cases, then you can make choices about your financing that allow you to save money and allow you to advocate for investments that allow you to expand your services faster.